BP cause. You know, I'm very impressed with the fact that all these various elements have come together to come out here to Washington, D.C. and lobby and have these press conferences. So I'm impressed with people power, but I'm not impressed with political power. So you see, there's two parts to my observations here. The politicians have been bought off. BP has bought off the Republicans, and they bought off a good portions of the Democrats. That's how come companies like BP and other oil companies and pharmaceutical companies, all the big transnational corporations, all these multi-billion dollars, multi-trillion dollars corporation, they know how to have regulations that is suitable to them, and even when there is regulation, they know how to stretch the rules, and even the next step, how to break the rule, and have the politicians who's supposed to be enforcing the rule look the other way. Because, you know, the old saying about he who pays the piper calls the tune. So since they pay for these politicians to get elected, these politicians are not going to turn around and bite the hands that feed them. So whereas I'm extremely optimistic with us on the grassroots level coming together, I am not as optimistic in terms of we're going to get anything significant from the political power structure. I think we're going to have to do it ourselves. So if we can keep this momentum going, and this people power going, and this unity going, you know, I think we can overcome BP and the other BPs of the world, you know. But we should not put all our trust in the hands of the people who are part of the problem. This is why we got here. You know, we're going through this economic dump slump again because these guys deregulate, and what few regulations they have in place, they don't enforce them. It's like they're apologizing for having any regulation on these big transnational corporations. All right? Okay. So it is incumbent upon us, the grassroots, from all over this country, and in particular in this case the golf course, to be vigilant, to be consistent, and to be demanding. All right? Okay. Because as Frederick Douglass said in 1850, I'm talking 1850, and Frederick Douglass being the great abolitionist that he was, he said that power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. Power concedes nothing without a demand, whether it's political power or religious power or economic power. And that's what we got to do. We got to keep making the demands. This is how we gain all our rights here in America. This is how slavery ended. It wasn't because the politicians said, oh my God, they woke up one day, oh my God, slavery is terrible, let's end it. No. People had to fight for it on the grassroots level and demand it. That's how we ended slavery. That's how we ended Jim Crow. During the period, the 100 years of Jim Crow, they lynched. They picked us up off the street, black people, and lynched us and burned us to the stake. Not one president from Ulysses S. Grant, who was the first president after Lincoln, all the way up to Eisenhower and Kennedy, not one of them stopped the lynchings. They would lynch us every day, and we would say, this is wrong. We don't, you know, they wake up feeling bad. They had a bad day. Economic times are done. They're going to go lynch a black person, you know, and you guys are not enforcing the law. The Constitution is not, you know, being applied equitable. Not one president. I'm talking about supposedly some great presidents. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, Harry Truman, all these guys. I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats. None of them thought it was morally correct or legally correct to say, no, we're going to enforce the law and stop white people from lynching black people. Not one of them. In 100 years, mind you. It came again because of struggle, because of demand, because of our people taking the street and saying, enough already. And because we were willing to risk our lives to do it, and also embarrass the great United States of America to the rest of the world for the hypocrites that it was, that we got our rights. And not just us. The women struggle, the same thing. Women have to get out there and struggle. Currently it's the gay struggle. They're using the same model that we use. All struggles, the Hispanic struggle, use the black struggle as the model for gaining their freedom, justice.
So, with all that said, what do you feel your responsibility is, and how do you respond to environmental justice? What action do you think you can take?
There's a cliche that says, think globally, but act locally, and that's what I'm doing. I'm acting locally. I've been acting locally for 5 years, since Hurricane Katrina. I came back home to my city, to my state of Louisiana, to my city of New Orleans, 1 month after Hurricane Katrina. And the reason why we managed to get 2/3 of our people, black people, back into New Orleans is because of the kind of struggle that we waged on the grassroots level. The politicians didn't do nothing for our people. They were involved in trying to ethnically cleanse the city of New Orleans of black people. They want to get rid of us, period. All right? But we ourselves were managed to get our people back. We got 2/3 of them back. We still got 1/3 of our people that are evacuees. And I'm still involved in coalition with other grassroots organizations in terms of finding the resources to bring them back home. Now, in terms of environmental justice, well, environmental racism is apparent and it's historic, and we have to challenge it at its root. The corporations that are involved in dumping and in building their pollutant corporation, make sure the bus don't lead us. Okay? And locating these high polluted corporation in our community, we need to wage boycotts against those companies, and that's how we bring them down to the knees. We hit them in the pocketbook, and that is in answer to your question. Boycott the hell out of them, expose them for what they are doing to our people, the damage that they're doing to our people. I mean, in New Orleans, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, is Cancer Alley.
Yes, it is.
So you believe that one of the issues is environmental racism?
Oh,
that has to do with this whole entire issue?
Absolutely, is that environmental racism, you know? I mean, the day I won't believe that is the day they locate an oil company, or petrochemical company, in the Garden District of New Orleans. That's what I want to see. The Garden District is the richest white community in all of New Orleans. All right? Now, when I see a petrochemical or pollutant corporation located there, then I say environmental racism is over. They are treating us all the same. But I ain't going to see it. Why? Because those people, they got clout, they got money. As a matter of fact, they're probably on the board of the petrochemical company. They're probably on the damn board. You know. So yes, it is alive and well. And the only way we're going to rid it out of community, we need to boycott the hell out of them. And if that doesn't work, maybe we need to go the next step. Keep in mind, Martin Luther King had a strategy for winning our freedom. But right in the back of Martin Luther King was a man named Malcolm X who had an alternative. And that's how we really got our freedom. We needed, if we just had Martin, we would not have won. But because Malcolm was right there saying, if this man isn't successful, then let me use my strategy. All right? And perhaps we should learn from the lessons of history.
Thank you.